Why is it that when we hear the iconic names of figures, classic figures such as Frankenstein, Dracula, witches or ghosts, we feel this melancholy and it takes us back in time? There are, I think, two main reasons. The first reason is because it connects us. They connect us with our past, with better memories, with happy memories, maybe with nights reading our books, our literary books, and under the covers, or maybe watching television with our parents and Friday nights. For each of us is very special. Can be a very special moment. But also there's something a little bit deeper, which is what Carl Jung, psychiatrist and analyst Carl Jung, talked about when he referred to that unconscious part that is collective and the collective unconsciousness, which is actually where we find all the archetypes. And it's precisely Gothic literature or Gothic productions where we can find many of these archetypes, and that's why we like them so much. So friends, today in this video I'm going to answer the question, what is the real fascination with popular monsters? Then we're going to see how that fascination can actually be turned into self-development, into a tool for exploration, self-exploration, for self-awareness, and how that can actually help you both at a personal and a professional level. So if you're interested in using this fascination for your iconic monsters of all your life since you were a child, this video is for you. Hello friends, welcome to Gothic Land. This is Alice and this is episode 12, and it's called What is the Real Fascination with Popular Monsters? And we're going to look at this under the Gothic Jungian lens as always. And before we start with this, I would like to invite you to visit my Patreon page for your support, because in the last few videos I've had a lot of people commenting on them and it's quite difficult or impossible to actually answer to you all, and also because for me this is my job, so everything that means taking extra time to answer all these questions is actually time that I don't get paid. And I know it sounds awful, but Patreon is the best place. It is perfect because you can actually get more content by deciding exactly what is it that you want to do, and we can actually be in contact with each other. It's a little bit more personal over there. So when you go to Patreon, what you'll see is different tiers. You have from something very minimum, which is €5 a month, where you just support the content that I already do, like my blog, my investigation, my buying my own books, and creating the videos and a few more things. But then you can be the forest traveler, and then that will give you access to all that plus other stuff like deeper analysis, more information. Or you can become an external explorer, which gives you all of that, plus also recommendations of Gothic literature, what to read, and a lot of other things that we can do if we do webinars and live sessions. And if you become an immortal soul, then you get a lot more content, and there's a lot of coaching sessions, there's a lot of future videos, like special content, and you'll be the first to know what's going on in Gothic Land. So this is the perfect tool for us to be more in connection. If you don't like newsletters and things like that, we can actually meet each other, and actually this is for you good, because I treat this as a job, so I treat it very seriously, and that can actually give you also more confidence in what you're receiving. So without any more further ado, and after this self-marketing, let's continue with today's video, which is to answer the question, what is the real fascination with popular monsters? And to do that, I'm going to answer 3 questions, and those 3 questions are the following. The first question I'm going to talk about is what are monsters for in Gothic literature and what do they represent. The second question is going to be what is the role of Gothic settings, and the third question I'm going to answer is what can we explore through them. So let's begin with the first question. What are monsters for in Gothic literature and what do they represent? So within Gothic literature, monsters often serve as embodiments of fears, desires, and social anxieties. So they represent the darker aspects of human nature that are repressed or marginalized in society. Under the Jungian lens, which is what we talk here, what we use, they can be seen as archetypal symbols which emerge from the collective unconscious. So these archetypes are universal patterns or symbols inherited from our ancestors and shared across cultures. But this is very, very simplified and very broad. Question number 2. What is the role of Gothic settings? So the setting of Gothic narratives, often dark and mysterious, as you know, they reflect the internal landscapes of characters struggling with their own internal demons. So Gothic settings frequently incorporate thresholds such as doors, entrances or breaches, which symbolize transitions between different psychological states or realms. So crossing these thresholds usually means a psychological transformation or a confrontation with the unknown. What can we explore through them? So through these archetypes, through these monsters, such as vampires, werewolves, ghosts, they provide a symbolic framework through which authors explore themes such as mortality, sexuality, and the unknown. Some of the archetypal figures they represent the shadow, since here we find the repressed or hidden aspects of the self, but also all the anima and animus, which symbolizes the contrasexual aspect within each individual. So these archetypal figures, we basically tend to find them in folklore, in myths, in literature, but also we can find them in our dreams, which is so important. That's why it's so important now, this self-development aspect. A lot of the times there are a lot of stories and a lot of books that have been written based on nightmares that the authors have had. So it's very important when we get in contact with our unconscious mind, and what happens there is what we see reflected in literature, but also in other spaces that we've just seen. So this is very important for self-development because there's a lot of information and it's very rich what happens in our unconscious mind. And this is where actually coming to the course comes very, very handy, because in the course you're going to see exactly what goes on in the unconscious mind, how those connect that, how we can connect that with Gothic literature, how both of them really merge. And that gives you explanations about not just about entertainment, about what you're reading, but about yourself and the people around you. So it is very important that we know exactly or we have an idea or understand, mainly because maybe we just want to know what is it that happens in the unconscious mind and what is in the human nature. So basically this is it for today. Let's do a little bit of wrapping up. It's a very short video because I wanted just to concentrate on 3 main aspects, but these ideas will be developed further in the course. So we've been talking about what are monsters for in Gothic literature and what do they represent, what is the role of Gothic settings, and what can we explore through them. And if you analyze now everything that I've said in this video and you start like chewing it a little bit, you will see that it makes a lot of sense when you start reading your own Gothic novels, or when you start watching some even series or films that have Gothic elements. And that's it basically for us today. So remember, if you want more information about these concepts, you can go to Patreon, where you'll have access to more information. And if not, the other invitation would be to do the mentoring course that lasts 7 months. It just started already in January, but you can have access already to module 1 and module 2 that we did last Saturday. And just because you're here, remember that you have 2 free downloads. One is about exploring the depths, which is where we did the webinar explaining the whole course. So that's absolutely free with a lot of content there. And also you can access like a free quiz where you can see what's going on in your life, more or less. What are your priorities? How much do you know about Gothic literature? How much do you know about Jungian and the Jungian lens? And how can all that help you with your everyday life things at a personal level, but also professionally. So thank you very much for being here, my friends. I hope to see you very soon in the next video. And until then, take care. Bye.